Hello and welcome to the Diplomatic Encounter, a current affairs program that goes beyond the general headlines, giving you a fresh perspective. My name is Sharon Karinda. In today's program, the United States and Zimbabwe celebrated the first anniversary of the DREAMS initiatives, which stands for Determined, Resilient, Empowered, AIDS-free, Mentored, and Safe. It is a 2-year partnership which is aimed at reducing infections in young women and girls. The United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief has provided $438 million for the DREAMS initiative in Zimbabwe. We are joined by one of the beneficiaries of the DREAMS initiatives, and she shares her childhood experience before joining the DREAMS initiative.
I was tested HIV positive when I was 7 years, but I found positive. But I was living with my maternal grandmother because my father died when I was 10 months. So after that, my grandmother did not disclose my status to me because I was too young. The problems comes when I was in 2011 when I was 13 years old, and I was doing my grade 7 at St. Jude's Primary School when I had skin disease on the face, reddish mouth, and my other fellow students called me names, like they stigmatized me. So I also used to tell them that I have heart problem. That's my grandma used to tell me. So I wanted to certify my other fellow students. So I decided to take my medicine to the school and show them so that they may certify that I'm not HIV positive, but I have a heart problem. But when they see the medicine, they were ARVs, they started to laugh at me, saying that you have HIV, but you are AIDS. You have AIDS. So I started to cry, and my class teacher took me and she counseled me and disclosed my status to me. But still, I was confused, and I went back home. I told my grandmother that I'm HIV positive, but my grandmother denied, saying that you have no HIV positive, but you have a heart problem. I was confused, and I defaulted my medicine. After defaulting my medicine, I started to sick, and I was admitted at Rusape General Hospital for 2 weeks. After admitted, my grandmother threatened me that if you stop drinking this medicine, you will die. So I was afraid to die, my fellow students. So I started to drink the medicine, but sometimes I will jump because I was full of confusion on my mind. So in 2016, 10th January, when I went for training of community adolescent treatment supporter in Tare, which was sponsored by Africaid, I learned the most about HIV positive, and I know my status, and I met other adolescents who are living positive life. So it helped me a lot that I adhering my medicine. So when I went back home, I told my grandmother that I'm HIV positive, and my grandmother disclosed my status to me, saying that you were still young to tell you that you are HIV positive, but you are HIV positive. You were born HIV positive. So when it does it, I want to thank also the Dream Club, because my mother was married with another man when my father died. So I was used to stay with my maternal grandmother, and my maternal grandmother was sick. He had a breast cancer. So when she died, I started to suffer a lot, and I stopped to go to school. But the dreams came into my life, and it sent me back to school. Now I have written my ordinary level, and it had paid my school fees to me, and I'm now empowered and educated.
A touching story, but at the end, she feels happy and empowered thanks to the DREAMS initiative team. We spoke to Mr. Batasara from the Ministry of Health and Childcare, and he outlined the visions of the DREAMS initiative.
All right, my name is Taurai Batasara. I'm the National DREAMS Project Coordinator with the Ministry of Health and Childcare in Zimbabwe. I'm coordinating the DREAMS project. DREAMS stands for Determined, Resilient, Empowered, AIDS-Free, Mentored, Safe Lives, which is focused on reducing HIV infections amongst adolescent girls and young women by 40% come end of 2017. So there's a package that we are looking at in terms of how we can then address those issues as far as HIV is concerned. We are looking at identifying males who are infecting young people, link them with VMMC, which is voluntary male medical circumcision, link them with the treatment if they're HIV positive. But we are also looking at issues like education subsidies, where we are saying education is very, very important for a girl child. If you are managing to keep a girl child within the school institution, we're able to reduce teenage pregnancies, we're able to reduce chances of getting HIV and AIDS, we're able to reduce chances of getting STIs. So that's another package as well that we are looking at to say, let's pay their fees so that they can also stay in school. But above all, we are also empowering these adolescent girls and young women with information on HIV prevention, on how they can prevent themselves from HIV, on how they can negotiate for safer sex in the event that they want to start sexual activities.
Speaking on the anniversary, the American ambassador to Zimbabwe said that this ambitious partnership will go a long way in reducing HIV infection.
Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the one-year anniversary of the determined, resilient, empowered, AIDS-free, mentored, and safe DREAMS initiative. It is the perfect time to celebrate this important initiative. Accumulating evidence shows that empowering adolescent girls and young women to protect their health and well-being is critical to an AIDS-free generation. The President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, through the United States Agency for International Development and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control Prevention, in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Child Care, the National AIDS Council, civil society, and local partners, implements the DREAMS initiative in 6 districts across Zimbabwe: Mazoe, Weru, Makoni, Mutare, Chipinge, and Bulawayo. These are the districts with the highest HIV prevalence in the country, as well as persistently higher maternal mortality and teenage pregnancy rates.
My name is Vimbai Sikavan. I'm an out-of-school club facilitator for adolescent girls and young women. I'm based in Bulawayo. The DREAMS program has made a positive impact in our lives as young girls. It has made girls to realize their potential, and it also made girls to stand up against gender-based violence. Through the sessions that we learned about HIV prevention, about gender norms, it has made realize those girls were being abused to now actually speak out against gender-based violence, to actually now speak out against abuse. The DREAMS program is also a module on Find Your Talent, which is finding the power within you. It also makes girls, those girls who've been through abuse, either maybe they've been raped or maybe they've been through any other form of gender-based violence, to actually pick up those pieces and move on with life and know that their past cannot determine the future. It is by the choices that they make today that are going to determine what kind of a future to have, and also to stand up and speak out against gender-based violence, to speak out against HIV, and also to protect themselves from intergenerational relationships, from peer-to-peer sex, and also to encourage each other as adolescent girls and young women to support each other and to empower ourselves as young women.
Dr. Tapua Magure, the Chief Executive of the National AIDS Council, said that the dream of an HIV-free generation is coming into fruition.
Studies, even here in Zimbabwe, like this ZimFear study, the community-based HIV and AIDS testing that was occurring over the last few months, has now come up with results, and those results show that, generally speaking, the HIV program in Zimbabwe is really performing very well. The number of new infections is actually more than halved, so we're very happy about that. And we're also happy that those people who are on antiretroviral therapy, you know, Zimbabwe has more than 950,000 people on treatment. Most of them are a viral load suppression, which means the virus is really under control for most of them. So this DREAMS project is basically there to empower those adolescent girls and young women in various ways to prevent them from catching HIV. And I think you've also seen those 2 girls who are in this particular program who are very empowered. Yeah. They were talking of even income generating projects so that they don't have to beg for money from all the boyfriends and so forth. So we're very happy with that.
This has been the Diplomatic Encounter. Hope you've been educated and informed. For more details, visit our Facebook page, that is The Diplomat Zimbabwe. Or you can watch our YouTube channel, The Diplomatic Encounter Zimbabwe. Or you can WhatsApp us on 0718 438 270. Or you can call us on 0772 692 915. From me and the team behind the scenes, have a blessed holiday and remember not to drink and drive.